You know the feeling, don't you? That gnawing doubt deep down when a deal seems too opaque, when numbers get fuzzy or promises fall silent, when the relationship between limited partners and general partners feels like a battlefield, buried under layers of distrust, misinformation, and silent fears. That frustration boiling inside as your capital is locked away, decisions made behind closed doors, and you're left wondering, are you flying blind? Are you just a passenger on a ship steered by somebody else's hidden map? That's the exact place where most LPGP relationships crash and burn. Because beneath this tension lies something every LP and GP hides from, a gap so wide it can swallow trust whole. Transparency isn't a buzzword. It isn't a checkbox. It is the lifeline, the oxygen in that suffocating room where money, vision, and leadership collide. Without it, everything falls apart. The truth is, a lack of transparency means a lack of control, a lack of respect, and a lack of respect breeds doubt. A poison that destroys any chance of lasting partnership. You've seen it. Promises made by GPs that seem golden, but when the reports come, they are riddled with jargon, evasions, or worse, silence. Meanwhile, LPs sit on the sidelines, scared to ask too many questions lest they seem ignorant, or timid to push because they don't want to burn bridges. This is not just a business problem. This is a wound, an injustice. Money is not just money. It's dreams, livelihoods, futures, and yet it slips into a black box too often. That tight feeling in the gut is not paranoia. It's intuition telling you something is off, yelling at you to break the cycle of hidden agendas and secret agendas. Here's the raw truth. If transparency isn't built into the foundation, the entire structure is fragile, cracked, waiting to shatter the moment stress hits. And stress will come. Markets will shake. Companies will wobble. Decisions must be made. In that moment, the lack of transparency becomes a weapon against everyone involved. Every LP has a right, no, a demand to own the reality of where their capital goes. No more smoke and mirrors, no more filtered narratives. So here's what must happen, right now, right this second. You must push GPs to open their books, not just in numbers, but in strategy, challenges, and failures. This means demanding real-time dashboards, candid conversations, unfiltered updates, no spin, no PR. You want courage? Be the partner who calls out risks before profits, because the most valuable relationship you can ever build is one where truth holds the highest seat. And GPs, listen closely. This isn't about being overexposed or losing your edge. It's about forging a bond that withstands storms by being built in daylight, not shadows. Own every mistake and every win equally. Be brutal in your honesty, fierce in your accountability. The best GPs know this secret. Transparency doesn't weaken power. It transforms power into trust, and trust multiplies value beyond money. Now, there's a trick here, a nuance that separates the schools of thought. True transparency is not dumping endless data, hoping the other side will find meaning. You must curate, contextualize, and communicate with brutal clarity. Numbers without story, useless. Updates without insight, wasteful. The most magnetic transparency connects the dots, reveals the why behind every move. That's what fertilizes trust, turning routine reports into a living dialogue that keeps everyone alive and engaged, hungry to push forward together. Here's another ember to stoke your fire. Transparency creates an ecosystem where LPs do not sit passively waiting for returns. They become active participants, keen advisors, and genuine co-creators. When LPs see the full picture, their support becomes lightning fast and more aligned. Phone calls that once carried tension turn into brainstorming, strategy recalibrations, and collective resilience. But transparency is not just showing what's on paper, it's about emotional honesty too. Vulnerability is the fuel of this engine. GPs must reveal not only what's going well, but where the team struggles, where the market fights back, where plans need to pivot. And LPs owe it to themselves to respond not with judgment, but with partnership, with shared resolve to overcome. If you want to challenge the status quo, To shatter illusions of when limited means limited knowledge, you must create frameworks that standardize transparency as a sacred truth. Build agreements that mandate access to detailed operational insights. Insist on regular, candid sessions, not just quarterly summaries designed to flatter. Cultivate a culture where silence is louder than words. When you do this, you stop being prisoners of old systems that reward secrecy or opacity. You become architects of a new reality, where capital flows fueled by shared vision, raw truth, and mutual respect. Don't fool yourself, many will resist. GPs who guard their kingdoms fiercely, LPs who believe ignorance is bliss. This is the battleground for real change. But for those brave enough to push, to demand, and to build this radical transparency, the payoff is explosive. Suddenly, relationships become lifelines. Decisions sharpen. Risks become calculated, not guesses in the dark. Confidence replaces suspicion. Most importantly, you create a force that is greater than any individual, stronger than market cycles. Because here's the secret sauce. Transparency in LPGP relationships isn't just good governance. It is revolution. It tears down walls, breaks old hierarchies, shatters the chains of legacy thinking, and sets a new bar for what partnership means. It's a commitment to absolute freedom. Not freedom to hide, but freedom to share, to challenge, to grow beyond limits imposed by fear or protocol. So don't settle for vague overviews or trust built only on signed papers. Demand brutal honesty. Build insane clarity. Insist on being seen and seeing in return. Tear down old silos and replace them with real connection forged by truth. This is your assignment, your battle, your revolution. To every founder daring to push beyond complacency, every investor unwilling to be a silent wallet, every leader challenging the systems of the past, this is the moment. Weaponize transparency. It's not a tool. It's your shield, your sword, your future. Take it, own it, live it. Because no deal ever won without truth on the table. No empire grew without light where shadows once ruled. This is the fire. This is the call. And it will separate the weak from the unstoppable. You in or out.